want to just say is that we are going to be recording this meeting. So if anybody has, wants to refer to it, if anybody's unable to join this, we will have this recorded. As per usual, please just put your questions in the chat, and we will answer those questions as they come up. I am running a little short-handed today, so bear with me because I'm going to be doing the presentation and I'm trying to monitor that chat, so there'll probably be a little bit of a delay. So bear with me on that. If anybody hasn't been to one of these and doesn't know me, I'm Brad Morse. I'm the program director for Campus Project, and I'm with DLI. And with me, I have Mike Hill, who's over in our compliance records and training unit that oversees the rehab compliance. And we will be able to answer your questions for you. If there's things that we're unable to answer today, we will take that down and get back to you. So as far as the agenda goes, we'll follow the same agenda we've been following, which is we'll talk about the release we had on the 28th. We'll talk about some of the known issues that you have reported to us. We'll have some Q&A, and then talk about the upcoming answer hour sessions. Some of the things we fixed on the last release was, we had some empty or missing My Rehab Case tab items. That's where some individuals were and QRCs were going in there, and they had some stuff missing, or there just wasn't, nothing was there at all. So we did a fix on that, so you shouldn't be experiencing that now. And then the individual registration date was not updating with renewals. That's something that has been fixed, and we'll continue to be working on renewals with you to make sure that that process is smooth and continues to work well. Some of the known issues is filing an R2 when no claim is found. We opened up the RCR to be filed when no claim is found, but the R2s we're now seeing is this, we're going to have to do something around there. Campus was set up with an assumption that most of the claims would be in the system if there was going to be litigation or rehab on them, and that assumption has now been proven that a number of claims are not in the system, and we need to work hard and get those in there for you, and in the meantime create functionality to allow you to file into those. So we will continue to be freeing that stuff up and working on those. We have heard intermittent document upload failures. This one, if you get this, please send this to our help desk with your username, the time it's doing it. We have found that most of the time this is a firewall issue externally that hits our firewall, because the state has a lot of security protocols, and that those two security protocols have a tendency of fighting each other, and you will get that at times. But we want to be sure that that's what it is. Every time we've researched it, we've worked with folks, it has been a firewall issue, and that our technical team needs to work with on your side to look at that. But if you don't have a technical team and you're running into it, please send it to us, because our folks can still help you get those in. Intermittent failures on some R forms and disputes, and this is one that I'm curious about. I'm personally trying to figure out what's on here, because what's happening is it looks like the forms are filing on our end, but on your side it kind of spins, and then people will hit it, keep resubmitting it, which on an R form takes a lot of time, and it actually comes in the system multiple times. So we're trying to figure out what's causing it to not give the confirmation, because a lot of times they are coming through. The dispute's the same thing, that we're getting multiple disputes filed for the same thing, because it's not spitting out the confirmation, and some of that is on the the security of the system, in that when it's trying to run through a process, is it running into something that we have in our environment that's causing that. And then the incorrect firm displaying on cases in some instances, please report this to the help desk if this keeps coming up. Some of this is from the migrated case data we had in Informex, and that's why it's holding an old value. And if that's still happening, we can fix them. So just please contact the help desk, and they will, create some tickets, and there's some data cleanup. But if you're seeing it, on one of your cases, please look at all your cases and let us know, so when we do the data cleanup, we can just do them all at once for you and get that fixed. That's the some of the known issues we have. We've been really focusing on updating our Campus Central page to get all the updates and the fixes, and some of the procedural stuff. Questions on how to do something that we're getting a lot of FAQs on. We try to get it up there. I know Mike's been working hard on that to make sure that stuff is available, so that the help desk is helpful, but it's can take a long time out of your day to get to it. But if you can go to this page, sometimes you can see if we have a known issue or if what has just been fixed. And then we will always communicate critical stuff through this page. If, for instance, we had to take the system down for some reason, we'll communicate it through there. I think we have some questions coming through. And I apologize, while I'm in presenter mode, it's not as user-friendly as I'd like to see these chats. So we have a question from Rebecca. Am I set up to receive all notifications for my company? I frequently receive emails and notices stating a new document is available, but when I try to open that document, it gives me an error page saying you're not authorized to view this page. I keep forwarding these to the help desk. Sometimes I get a reply giving me remedial training on how to set up, how to set up notices. More often, I don't get a reply. Is this a known issue? I think we want to dive into the specifics of this with you, Rebecca, at some point and figure out why. So there is, with people that have certain rights in the system, there has been where documents are filed onto a transaction, but they're not able to see that transaction. That has been something we've corrected. If you're still seeing that, I'd like to kind of walk through that issue with you. If you'd be able to reach out to Mike Hill, and we can set up some time to see some of these known issues, and we can see on our end what the transaction is you're getting. That will help us identify if we have something out there. We did just do a large release before the 28th on this to free up people that have a service process and everything to see all the documents that their company has access to. So it could be a case where the transactions are set that the company shouldn't see it. But there's a number of things there, Rebecca. So please just reach out to Mike Hill, and we will set up some time with you on that. There's a question or a request from Terry. Can you add the ability to print only a blank R form in Campus using the Campus format forms instead of the old PDF forms on the DLI website, which look very different? It would be helpful out in the field. That's something we definitely can recommend doing is getting those forms published so everybody can use them as a template. That's feedback we can take. If somebody is on from my team, Mike, one of the mics, anybody, can you write that down? And because that's something I'm sure we could put out.
Can do.
Thank you. And Rebecca, again, when you're having a change of QRC, we upload the DLI release of information as previously changed, but when we are given permission to access the case, the change of QRC R3 does not have the correct information. It will not let us input the new QRC information. That's a good thing to bring up, and something that we got a couple folks have been talking to us about this week, that this is something we need to look at. Mike, do you know a little more about this, or is this something we need to investigate?
I think we'll have to investigate that.
Okay. So I think, we'll develop a session, and then, I want to get some communication out next week for everybody on this, if it's something we need to add or fix, or if it's, how to get this process to work. But thank you for that, Terry, because that's we have been able to do it in our test environment. But sometimes, as you know, in the real world, things do not always work as designed, because there's a lot of different data components and a lot of different variables in there. Will you be making draft R forms available for view and updating by both QRC and support staff instead of the one person who created the form? Right now, Harry, that's a good question. We've gotten feedback from you all about that. It's technically a challenge for us to do that, because the draft forms queue is actually linked to the person who does it. And if you have folks that are associated, it would be, so the answer is, it's something we're going to look into, but there are some technical challenges with the business logic around that, because you have support staff that are linked to multiple QRCs. So you'd have to put in secondary logic to verify which QRC is seeing what. And so it just is a larger challenge than just making it viewable if, for instance, there was only a one-to-one relationship. But it's something, we've heard from you folks, and we've heard from the some of the paralegals. So this isn't just you, that some of the paralegals are asking this question too. And we're going to start to look at it, but it's kind of like when you're getting documents and you're associated all these people, it'd be very similar to that, where you'd start getting a lot of stuff in that queue. So we're going to take it down, and maybe we can do some solutioning on that. But that's a good question. It's a good ask. So Mike will jot that one down too, and we'll log it and see what we can do there. I did have a question or statement that we did send out a survey to folks, trying to help us prioritize some of the the work we do. Please fill that out and send it back. We do take it seriously. We put some of the top items that we heard from QRCs on there, and but we want to make sure we are focusing on the right thing. Like one of them was like build a with lookup is one of the items that are on there. Is that more important than maybe getting the draft stuff? So we need some help from you to make sure we're prioritizing the best value for you. So please fill out that survey. All right, now if we have any more questions, please send them on over.
So, Brad, a question that has been asked. Per
Yeah.
the 11.2 law change regarding filing first reports of injury, FROI, how when is an insurer informed that a rehabilitation consultation report has been created or filed? When campus does not recognize a claim, as we only create the RCR after completing the claim shell step.
Yeah. So what is going on with that is, after you complete the RCR and it comes in there, it creates the claim shell, that notifies one of the folks in compliance records and training, or a number of folks, to then start sending out requests to the insurers to send in the claims as mandated by that law. So the RCR actually tells them to do that, because there's no other transaction we have. Of course, if you know something's out there and it needs to be reported, please contact the help desk, and they can get a request over to that team. But with that claim shell, they actually have business rules that they can put in to just automatically send information pulling from that shell to contact the insurer and get that resolved for you. It's a process that we've been working on, and that we have just started doing after that law passed, and now we are building more functionality for the internal team and be able to get those resolved faster for you, because we do know that it is blocking things, but with the carriers sometimes not being as fast in responding to those. So we're trying to make sure we have that process built in to do that.
Brad, if I might add to that, if you're contacting the help desk because you don't have a FROI, and that's easily recognizable because your RCR form doesn't completely fill out with all the information it should have, when you contact the help desk, what you might want to do is provide the adjuster's name, their contact information, phone, email address, the employee's name with social number, social security number, date of injury that you're aware of, so that we're able to contact them and specifically target what that is. And if you have the claim file information that the insurer has, also add that there. Again, it just helps us to better link when we're talking to that particular insurer to make sure that they get the FROI filed properly. So Brad, there's another question here. It says, we are unable to upload a lot of forms because of the FROI needing to be submitted by the insurer first. We reach out to them by asking them to file it. Is there any consideration and process to change the system so that we can still upload our required documents even while waiting on an insurer to file their forms?
Yes, that is under consideration right now, knowing that it's blocking things. We are, yeah, and we're working to figure out technical solutions right now, but there's none forthcoming at this moment. So it's going to take us a little bit to design that and to test it and make sure that it works correctly. So we are taking it serious. We are trying to figure out the best plan forward on those. So we are doing that, but I just know that it's a little more complicated than it sounds, because those shell records were never designed to house that type of stuff. So we got to completely re-engineer that, and it just takes time.
Okay, the next question is, I'm sorry if someone has asked this. My group administrator can see my rehab cases, but not my forms. Is there a setting to allow this access?
There is not at this point to do that. The forms are locked in under the user. And somebody did ask a little earlier about seeing drafts, and that kind of falls under the same scenarios. It's something that, you know, we're going to look at as a consideration and figure out if there's some technical feasibility, and then also what does it, mean in the impact. And we'll probably have to run that by the group if we decide to do something like that. Right now, our focus is really on trying to get all the filings so that they can be filed. That you're not running into such issues of trying to get something filed. That's our first priority. Then we're going to look at stuff like that to improve the experience for campus.
With respect to contacting the help desk, it was noted that please, when calling the help desk, give only the last four numbers of the Social Security number. The next question that we have is, we've reached out to adjusters asking if they filed the FROI. Some adjusters are responding they have confirmation of filing the FROI, but campus still does not recognize the claim to link the case.
If they have confirmation the FROI was filed and it went through, then they have what they have the jurisdiction claim number, or the campus file number, and they can give you that, and that is one of the matching criterias. If you look at the, how to locate a claim, the JCN is one of them. If they can confirm the date of injury, you'd be able to use that, and you'd be able to match with that. What usually happens is there's a data mismatch, that they have something filed differently than one of those key matchers you're trying to get, and usually it's date of injury. It sometimes could be like the last four of the social, but usually it's date of injury or last name. And that, so the campus file number and the date of injury is the most direct way to link right to a claim, because that goes right into their filing. So I would request them to give you that information. They have it in their system, and it's something they have to use to file all filings after a FROI.
Okay, the next question was, we have the same situation as Terry. Are we supposed to contact help desk every time this happens?
Which situation is that?
They want to reaching out to the adjusters about the filing of the FROI, but campus still does not recognize the claim to link the case. So should they be contacting the help desk every time they're finding this problem?
Yeah, so I mean, we have an automatic process on our side to start reaching out to the adjusters and doing that after an RCR is filed. But if it's impeding your ability to make a next filing, contact the help desk and make sure that they will escalate it to the proper group to get that work done.
And I'm not seeing any other questions at this point.
All right. Well, if anybody does have any other questions, please throw them in the chat. If not, we can wrap up a little early. We will be continuing to do these answer hours, every couple of weeks. If people still find them.
Oh, well, we've got another one that just jumped in here, Brad.
Okay.
If an R3 is filed earlier than 15 days either side of 6 months from the R2 filing date, the question is the form being filed in lieu of a plan progress report form does not come up? The next R3 may be beyond that 30-day window, and the question will not come up on campus form again. What should we do in that scenario? Would you like me to handle that?
Yeah, Mike, you know this a little better than me.
Okay, so you're correct. The R2, 6 months post filing of that with the department, is you have a 15-day window before that 6 month or 15 days after that to file the plan progress report. And right now the window is what it is until perhaps we engineer it. There we go. That's a better word. To have a greater time of windows. So if your R3 does not fall into that time frame, the plan progress report is also one of your R forms that you can just file separately. So feel free to go ahead and use the plan progress report so that you're right there at that perfect window.
And Mike, I know that in particular, I did put on the survey as well as something, to help us prioritize to do around extending that window.
And I'm not seeing any other questions going once, going twice. I think we're done.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it and appreciate all your patience. And then we'll be circling back with some of you on some of those issues you brought up, and we'll work this week to get them corrected. But we appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye now.